Great, and we're live, everybody. Welcome to this remote interview. My name is Lisette, and I'm interviewing people and companies doing great things remotely. And today on the line, I have Alexandre Cuva, who is currently in Vietnam, but that's not where you're from, right, Alexandre?
Yeah, I'm from Switzerland, Geneva.
Originally, okay.
Yeah, originally from Geneva, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just say to people, if you have questions for us now or in the future, you can tweet them to #remote-interview, and we'll always get those answered. So Alexandre, I want to start with asking, what does your Anywhere office look like? What is it that you need to get your work done?
So the office here, it's to make the work done here. We make an office that is where we put in place a trust environment, a fun environment, mostly on on what we expect, on requirement environment. So the developers are saying, okay, like they're doing agile development. They say at the end that for the end of the iteration, they will provide this functionality. And so we expect that they provide this. And they communicate at the maximum, they be transparent. So we're using, because we're working with remote customers, we're using tools for having all the board on internet, so both parts can see it. So they need to say, okay, I'm working on that task today. It remained 2 hours here, and etc., things like this. So it allows us to have a maximum transparency between the customers and the people here.
Okay, and I should say you are the CEO of a company called SmartDev. Is that correct?
Yes,
okay.
That's correct, yes.
And also an Agile coach, and also a management trainer.
Yes, it's exact, yes. So SmartDev, it's an offshore company, but we're doing offshore, we're doing agile coaching and agile training here in the Southeast Asia. We're gonna open trainings, we're gonna open the management trio training in Vietnam too. People are starting to ask, so that's a good news for us.
Yeah, definitely. For management too.
Yes, for management, for email is super good. This is a good news. I know this. We created too, and same time a company that we say that is a very oriented community. So we really help the communities here. We not just sponsor them. We help them we provide them the marketing staff. We provide maybe speakers. We help them to create their event and things like this. So we help all the communities here in the city. So we stay in Da Nang. It's in the center of Vietnam. And like, for example, we did in April, we opened the first XP Day of Asia. There was no XP Day in Asia. And we opened the first XP Day in Asia, in Vietnam, in Da Nang. And we had people coming from Australia, Singapore, Japan, so from all from all Asia came here, and we had the person. We had Pascal from XP Belgium. That's the one that created the first XP came to visit us. So it was great. It was a great event.
Wow, sounds like a great opportunity, and. Yeah. I really, I've heard this a lot from people that it's important to have a focus on the community that you're participating in, and I think it's lovely. But what do you get out of it then from the community? Why, or I should say, why did you decide to do this? Why did you decide this was so important?
But I think helping the community here, it makes that. So we have more easy access to expert developers, to good developers. That's one thing. So for sure, it's for us. And the second part is we give an opportunity to all developers that are working in the company to be able to speak in an event, to be some famous developers in the world, and we feel it's important to give the developers to have the right to be always interesting in the market. Even if they stay to work with us, they're still interesting in the market. And that was one of the big barriers we had here when I tried to put this in place. We had the human resource and all these people, and they say, no, you should not do this. Then the other company will steal our developers. And I say, okay, if the developers leave our company to work for another company, so most probably didn't like the culture of our company.
For sure. Yeah, because
Or
moving
maybe
a job.
or maybe we had a problem because our culture or way of managing the company was not good. So maybe we need to improve.
Right. So then it ends up being a really good networking and learning opportunity for your developers when you're helping to sponsor things in the community. You're helping people meet each other and grow, and it can only be good. Right. And then if you have a culture in your company that's attractive, you'll get the best developers.
Yes, of course.
Of course. And so you have a pretty unique, the reason why I know you is because you're a Management 3.0 facilitator. So I would say I would love to hear a little bit about how you're running your company. And before we were talking about, because of the way you run your company, you're getting people coming to you, clients coming to you to work with you. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, so people know me. Mostly, I was a Management 3.0 facilitator in France. Yes, once I did in Switzerland too. I did in Italy too. I was in Italy too, in Milano. So people know me around the Management 3.0. But in Vietnam, they know me too all around this. And I well know, it's already 3 years in a row I'm doing Agile event here. I came in Vietnam because of Jürgen Appelo, because he was not able to come to an event, and he asked me to come there. So I would say thank you to Jürgen. I would say thank you to Jürgen for this. And yes, the customer that come to me, they know me. Some of them, they know me because I was an Agile coach, and they're interesting on this. So they know that yes, if we having a team to your company, we know that they're gonna do Agile. Then we know that you're gonna do everything to have an happiness environment and have fun stuff because they think the same way of me. Some were my ex-students of a Management 3.0. I think yes, one was a student of me that he contacted me and asked me to work with me here. So it was good. This. Yes, so most of the customers that come to us are customers that wish to have a flat management environment, that kind of environment. Yes.
I see. So they know, one, you're going to work with Agile methodologies. Two, you're going to have a flat hierarchy and using Management 3.0 principles so that your employees, you're focused on happiness. So who doesn't want to work with that?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to ask, so you have people then that you're working with from all over the world.
So currently the Vietnam is quite a closed country. You have mostly Vietnamese coming from all Vietnam. So you have different cultures of the Vietnam. That's the north, the center, and the south are, we say, different kind of people.
Okay.
They have different way of thinking, a different way of working.
Somewhat similar to Switzerland, right? With all the different cantons in Switzerland.
Yes. It's a multi-cultural country. We have one foreigner. We hire one foreigner here too. But starting next year, they're going to open the border to all the country from the Southeast Asia. They're creating like the Europe.
Okay.
The Europe Union, they're creating here. So they're going to open, and so we can maybe have developers coming from Laos, from Singapore, from Cambodia. It will be a good mix. So it will be interesting. But it's still that the cultures you have only one kind of cultures, mostly Asian cultures. The Asian cultures, he has, because of the way they're speaking, the word they're using, it's quite, on the way they're talking, they have already a hierarchical system.
Okay, interesting. Oh,
so it's language. Yes, it's on the language, there are the hierarchical system already. like when you talk with someone, so I will say to you, ba, because you may be a little older than me. So I will say ba to you, and you're going to say to me, and because I'm younger. So it's like madame, younger. So sometimes I hear that they talk with one of the facilitator, the developers, they say and the name, they say the man, the higher man that call when. So they have hierarchical system, and so it means that if you are higher, if you're older, you should listen the elders and don't say that what he say it's maybe not good.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So yes, so you need to break these ideas, and by using the English doesn't have all this hierarchical system.
Right.
So if they speak in English, they don't have any more that hierarchical system when they're talking. So they
So
can
that's
talk like
one.
this. They can write and don't say that you're younger, you're older, something like this.
Now that's an interesting way of breaking that
Yeah,
barrier down.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So let's talk a little bit more about culture, because this comes up and it's something I'm trying to wrap my head around in terms of, so this is one fabulous example about how you're breaking down the differences in culture. And this is even within just the Asian culture, so many different Asian cultures. But what other kinds of things do you see that come up, if there are any? I mean, this was already a fabulous example.
Yeah, but that's the most that most people that work in Asia they know this. India has too the same problems. That's really the Asia problems. And then the particular we have in Vietnam is that I don't know if you know the Lewis model.
No.
No, yeah. So yeah, so the people that will listen should go to look. The Lewis model is it's a model being created for the offshore company to understand which culture will be the best culture to work with their cultures.
Okay.
And
Wow.
and so it's a triangle. Yes, it was one guy that presented for at the DARE 2013 in
Okay.
Antwerp. It was really interesting ideas. And it's like it's a triangle, and you have the people that are more linear, so working project management thing like this. So Swiss, Germany people are mostly like here. And you have the listener, and the Vietnam is on the extreme. They are really good listener, people that are really very fast committed to your product. So you come, you start your project, end of the iteration, they're already committed to your project. And they were looking really to fan everything to make your product the best product, because they want to be proud of that product very fast. And
Oh.
I see this like for compared some friend that told me about they have offshore in Ukraine, and they say that maybe they need to have 1, 2, 3 months, maybe more, before the team feel that they are part of that product. So it's different thinking. And then
Right.
the people in Vietnam are very nice people, very really nice people. They always want to help you. They listen to you. So it's very different. So I have a customers like you say that is currently have his developers working in China, and they say they want to run away from China because the people are really too proud of themselves and not respect the other people, the foreigners. And they come here in Vietnam and say, wow, people are just super nice with us. They listen. It's another world. So you
Okay.
have already different cultures. They're already between China, Vietnam. Um, I went to Thailand. I feel the people very nice too, very nice and things like this. But I never worked with them, so I will not say anything about their cultures. But you have already these different cultures between already China and Vietnam.
Right. Right. I must say, even when I went to Brazil, I noticed how friendly everybody was. I mean, very willing to help, very, are you lost? Do you need something? You know, overly friendly, where I thought, oh my gosh, you know, I felt it was so different than what I was used to. So yeah, I can see that, you know, there's definitely are differences like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. So then what are the benefits that these differences bring you? when you're working with all these different cultures, even within the same country? I know what you mean. The
Yeah,
Netherlands has the same. I mean, if you go from one end of the Netherlands to the other, it's like a different country.
yeah. But like but in Vietnam, like you have the North people. The North people are the people that came with the communism and things like this. So are people very proud. I would say that it's more people like in London, English people, are very proud of themselves and like this. And in the South, it's like more like Italy and Spain. They're more, we say, little lazy. Of course, it's super
More
hot.
laid back. More laid back.
Yeah,
Not lazy.
more laid back. And in Da Nang, even more laid back than everything because we have the sea near. I can see the sea from my windows on the office. We have a working environment that's just amazing, that bring the developers to work with to Da Nang because the mornings they can go to the beach and swim and then go to the office. You are
Right.
nearly at 20 minutes from the office, from everywhere from the city. So it's a great place.
Location.
Yes.
So then do you have most of your people working in an office there?
Yes. So currently, all the people are working in the office.
Okay.
Some people are already asking to me if they can do some remote development and things like this. And I say, yes, if the customer say, no problem, you can do it. Okay, fine. I have no issue. I have one customer is full company are all in remote. There's no office. They have developers all around the world and they work in remote. That's a
So
great company too.
and if they're using developers from your team, they're of course perfectly fine. So it's really it's up to the customer and the developer to decide how they want to work then.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
Oh, an
Yes.
unusual office.
Yes.
And so if we want to get back, how about let's talk then about some of the tools that you use. That's always a good one because you say that you have a lot of online tools because of where the customers are.
Yeah. So when the customer are in remote or not in the office, because we have one team where the customer is in the office full time with them, so there's no need. So mostly we use online tools. Like, we use all the tools from Atlassian, the Jira. We have the wiki. We have we're using everything around continuous integration. Some team are using TDD. The tester are writing all the acceptance tests and the script and the automation code for the acceptance test. So everything is linked all together like this to have really a continuous, because when you're working remote, what's very important is to provide the transparency, the most transparency to the customer in remote, so we feel confident with the team. So continuous integration, it's a must to have for every team, so they know exactly what's happening, what is the quality, is this an issue, everything like this. And they should have a continuous delivery. So build a piece of their software maybe once a week or end of each iteration, so the customer can play with the product and not waiting 6 months to see the product coming.
Right.
So you need to have all these tools. The wiki is a great tool because they can write, put all the documentation, put the report of their how was their iteration, is there an issue. They can communicate with the customer through the wiki. It's really good exchange tools. And of course, you need all the tools for communication. We use Skype in the office for talking between the customers and the developers. But then some companies, they're not using Skype, they're using other tools for communication. So mostly up to the customers.
Okay. Now you're lucky in that you're working with a lot of developers, so people who, use tools quite a bit and are very comfortable with using the technologies. And I see a lot of teams struggle, though, when it's not a team of developers, when you have teams of other people that are really struggling with the tools. And I call it technical illiteracy. Though
Yes.
it's the people that like, oh no, not one more tool. And I mean, I can understand. I'm a tool junkie, so for me, I love tools. I bring way too many tools to the table. But yeah, I see this. Do you see this at all with your
Yes,
customers? Oh, you
yes,
do.
yes.
Okay.
But not with the customers. We have a part of the people that are working that are not developers. It's the staff, the human resource, the um, my assistant, the accounting, and all these people. And when we create the company, we say, okay, we're going to choose the cheapest solution, Linux, using Google for the Word, the Google Sheet and stuff like this. It's cheap, it's free, it's better for us. But for them, they were used to use Word, Excel, things like this. And they really was really lost. So when we
Okay.
said, okay, you need to share something, it was a big, big mess. So
Right.
finally I say, okay, I buy the office for this group of people and we don't talk anymore.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
So that was your way of solving it, was you bought them Microsoft Office because that's what they were used to.
yes, because between they send yes, because the girls have a MacBook, so they have the tools from the MacBook, and they're sending to the customer a dot page file to the customers, and of
Right.
course the customer on the other side have a PC, so he cannot open the file and then say, yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, people have different ways of solving this. Some people do one-on-one training. Some people, allow their staff just to be lost. So I'm always very curious. It is an
Yeah,
issue, though.
we try the training, we train them, we explain them, but forget. Forget. I always there was a problem. So we say, okay. Office, anyways, not so much. So we pay the license and finish.
Right. And then they have the tools that they need, and they're off and running.
Yes.
Yeah, it is an issue. It is an issue on almost every team that I talk to. What about
Yes.
personality traits on your team? When you're hiring developers or when you're hiring people, what do you look for in your staff?
Okay. So when we hiring the developers already, we have a multiple step for the interview because really we think that when we hire someone is we hire for the life. So we bring someone else in the family on our family. So we need to have a really strict interview to be sure that the person fits the company. So what we're doing is that first we receive the CV, we filter the CV, we see if someone is interested on the CV, and then we have a first interview. Just a formal interview, talk with the person, see how it is that person. Very informal interview. It could be in a phone or directly here. Mostly some are my facilitator. So it's a kind of agile coach that we have here. That talk with these people and see if the person fit already the cultures. If it's a team-oriented person, if it's a passionate person on his work, and so on. And then we ask the person to do a homework. They have 1 week to provide a homework. For the developers will be to show that how good they are in their software development.
Mm-hmm.
I had the other day we're gonna hire a new person for the marketing. So I asked her to write something about how it will be the marketing, but not for outside customers, but for the company, for the employees. The employees are too a customer for the marketing. So I asked her how she will do the marketing to make happiness in the company.
Oh, I love
So research and everything, and I try to always give them an assignment that is just a little more outside of the comfort zone to see if really they're looking in, they're passionate on what they're doing.
it. Right.
So
Okay.
so this then they have a pair interview with one of the experts to see if. But one thing is to see if the code they built it's what is themselves, of course. and then see if how they're going to work, how they're working on the computer and things like this. And then a final interview with me, if I feel good. And then it's the human resource that do the interview for the money. So they're really at the end, the human resource.
Ah,
It's
okay.
not like the most of the companies, they put at the beginning a human resource for making the filters. No, we're doing everything, and the human resource are working at the end.
So they do the logistics, like, okay, you've been hired, now let's talk about all the logistics that are gonna, so it's part of
Yes,
onboarding really, is what ends up
yes,
happening.
yes.
Okay, interesting. So I know we're getting near to the top of the hour, but one thing I saw on your LinkedIn profile, which I might say your LinkedIn profile is the longest one I've ever seen. It was awesome. I just kept reading and kept reading. It was great. So it was great to finally talk to you. But it also says you were a volunteer fireman.
Yes, I was a volunteer fireman for 11 years in Switzerland.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of fun. It was really cool. You learn to work as a team, and you have teammates and friends and everything like this. In Switzerland, you can be volunteer for the firemen. You act only when there's no risk of man. When there's a risk of man is the professional work, but
Okay.
everything else is the volunteer. So it's
Wow.
quite interesting. So you have your working life, and during the night and the weekend, you play the firefighter.
Did you save a lot of kittens?
I never save any human, but I saved once a rabbit.
Oh.
A rabbit. Yeah, the little girl was crying downstairs. Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
no rabbit. Didn't know what's happened with his rabbit in a house that was burning, and I found this rabbit was hiding somewhere. It was not anymore white, but mostly black. The rabbit,
Oh.
but she was super happy.
I bet. I bet.
Yes, yes.
So, so back to remote working though, which is, do you have advice for people who are maybe just starting out, maybe with outsourcing, or what would you tell people?
Okay, so if the people want you to start with outsourcing, is not if they're going just for having cheapest people. Yes, they're gonna have, but maybe they're gonna have a lot of problem, and it will cost more than anything else. As I say, like the model I took just before that, the Lewis model, they
Yeah.
will help them a lot to know exactly which country will be more fit to work with them. That will provide something that be interesting for them. And then, yeah, you need to really understand what you want, why you work with the offshore team. You need to understand their cultures. You need to be participate. Is not you have a team far and you come to see them maybe once a year. That's not working. You need to try to have an ambassador that come to the team and work with the team full time, or maybe 1 month he's there and 1 month he's not there, but more than just 2 times per year. So the team feel that it's part of the other company. That's
Mm-hmm.
really important. That the team have the possibility to see the customers. I have some friend working in other company that's sometimes they go to Japan to see the customer in Japan because they have the luck to having this. That's great. It's really great
Yeah,
for the people. So it depends what you want. You want an efficient team, so provide an efficient environment. If you don't want an efficient team because you want to have maximum control and watching and everything with them, okay, you're going to have a cheapest price, but the people will not be efficient. So finally, it's going to cost more than anything else.
I see. So if you're really monitoring every move and you're trying to just get the cheapest price, people are going to feel that, and they
Yes.
won't be loyal back. Is sort of
Yeah.
the right. So,
Yes.
and it's true. I mean, when I think of the more I learn about offshoring and outsourcing, the more I start to understand that it's not. I mean, price is an issue. Price is something that's why people are looking outside. But actually, people are looking outside more because they need the talent and they're trying to scale their teams and they can't find the talent locally. So they need to go offshore and they need to outsource in order to get the staff that they need. And there's quite a lot of talented staff that is being underutilized in many of these countries. So I assume Vietnam is the same. There must be very talented developers there.
Yes, 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 yes. There are a lot of talented people in all these countries where people are doing offshore.
Right.
In Vietnam, for example, the talented people mostly stay in Vietnam. They don't want to go out. Like in India, mostly of the talented people went in other country, in Europe, in US, and things like this. And the non-talented people stay in India. That's a
Mm.
bad thing. That's a bad thing. They should stay and work in their own country.
I see. So in Vietnam, people want to stay there. They don't want to go
Yeah.
out and work in a different country. They want to stay home where,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they will go abroad for maybe 1 or 2 years, but then they will come back.
right. Interesting. Yeah, I hear that a lot. And so now it's just a question of how do we make it work with companies when we're outsourcing. And I really am going to take a look at this model because I like the idea that there's compatibility between certain countries and certain things based on the culture. And I think that's a very interesting concept. So I look forward to looking into that more.
Yeah.
And I guess one final question would be, if people want to learn more about you and what you're doing in your company, what's the best place to get in touch with you? Where should they go?
But if they want to know me and everything, I'm like you know, see
Awesome.
everything. So if you want to contact me, you have the contact, the address, the phone numbers, my email address. It's here. So you have a thing like this. See everything. You have my private phone number, so you can call me too if you want. But
Brilliant.
otherwise, you send me the email address, and I think, yeah, that's all. Otherwise, yeah, you come to if you wish to come to the Agile event in Vietnam, you're most welcome. In November, we'll have the Agile tour in 3 cities, be Ho Chi Minh, Da Nang, and Hanoi. So
Okay.
for the speaker, is a big opportunity because they meet a lot of people. They have the opportunity. Like in Da Nang, we're doing agile safaris that they're able to meet different companies doing agile in the city.
Wow.
That's quite interesting. In Ho Chi Minh too, we try to do the same for the speakers if they wish to meet other companies.
Wow. Plus you're seeing three very different cities all all
Yes,
within.
yes, but Ho Chi Minh is 12 or 13 million population. It's
Wow.
mostly a city like New York, I would say. Hanoi, it's around 10 or 11 million people too.
Wow.
Most like Boston, I would say. And Da Nang gets smaller. It's 1 million. The population is 1 million, but it's mostly, like, say, San Diego or Miami. We have the beach near. It's an environment just great. You're here, you just don't want to go away.
I can see the sky reflecting in the mirrors behind you and it looks really beautiful over there.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Well, great. I really appreciate your time today. I have so many more things that I want to ask, but let's keep this to 30 minutes. It's a good time box. And is there anything else maybe that you would want to say that we didn't cover before we head out?
No, no, I don't
Okay.
think so. I wish success to everyone that want to try to do offshore in an offshore company. It's not an easy thing to do this in a country that you are not part of the country. It's a big challenge, but if people like the challenge, it's interesting.
Well, I think that's good advice.
Yeah.
Good way to end. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. And until next time, be powerful.
Thank you. Bye bye.